What's up everyone, welcome to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel. Today I'm going to go over 7 different ways to expand your existing Google Ads search campaign. So if you're already running a search campaign and let's just say you're not hitting your daily budget or you've recently increased your daily budget, these are some different strategies you can use right away to increase the overall volume that your campaign is going to get and the amount of keywords that you're targeting. So number 1 is going to be to create dynamic ad groups. So you're going to be using dynamic search ads within your existing search campaign. So we're going to come into our search campaign, and what I would recommend doing is using the ad groups that are getting the most traffic, so the most clicks, spending the most, and I would also look at conversion rate and try to use ad groups that are driving a pretty strong conversion rate already. So for this example, I'm going to use farmhouse curtains, and what I'm going to do is we're going to click through the existing ad group. Right now I'm bidding on 2 keywords, farmhouse curtains phrase match and farmhouse style curtains phrase match, and I'm only bidding 7 cents on each of these different keywords. So obviously one of the things that I can do is increase my bids, but what we can also do is come back to our ad groups. So if we come back to our campaign and we go to the ad groups, we can create a brand new ad group, and under ad group type, we're going to select dynamic. So we're going to click on continue to change the ad group type. And you can see here, it's going to say domain. So mine's going to be farmhousegoals.com and the language will be English. So we're going to keep this as is. And then as we're coming down, I usually change the name of the ad group so I know it's a dynamic ad group. So I can do dynamic and farmhouse curtains. Okay, so we want to set a default bid. So I'm just going to set my bid the same exact bid that I have in the other ad group. Now I'm only bidding 7 cents, which is a very low bid. So I might have to end up increasing my bids if I do want to spend my daily budget, but I would recommend trying some of these other strategies first. So as we come down here, if you're not familiar with dynamic search ads, you have different ways that you can target your advertisements. The first way it's going to show you is categories recommended for your website. So if we come here, you can see there's going to be a bunch of different categories down here. One right here is farmhouse furniture. If we keep scrolling down, you can see farmhouse furniture reclaimed wood. We have tables, side table, sofa table. Usually I don't recommend using categories. It's just not the way I target my ads, but it's something you can test if you want to because there is a lot of search volume here based on the categories that they're going to set up for your website. I could use something like farmhouse decor here, set my bid, and obviously I'd have to update the name of my ad group to just farmhouse decor and see which type of keywords are coming in. But for now, I'm going to get rid of this. I'm not going to be targeting farmhouse decor or categories. What I'm going to be doing is targeting specific web pages. So with specific web pages, I can either use exact URLs or I can create URLs and say the URL must contain, and then for example, I can come in here and just put curtains. So the URL contains curtains and I can click on add down here on the bottom, or I can add an N, so URL contains curtains and drapes and valances, so I can use some different terms there. But if the URL contains curtains at all, that means it would match this URL right here, so farmhouse curtains. However, what I want to do is just target this one specific web page. So we're going to get rid of this. I'm going to use exact URLs, and the URL I'm going to use is right here. I'm just going to copy it. And it's going to take the content on this blog post and all of the products that I have listed. So if we scroll down here a little bit, you can see there's some text. There's more text at the very bottom. There's a bunch of different products for sale. And what you're going to see is some of the different keywords that might be used for Google Ads to actually target my advertisements. So right here, ruffled panel curtains, ticking stripe panel curtains, insulated blackout curtain panel drapes. So it can use all of these different types of keywords to target my advertisements, and then I can find some keywords that I can add to my campaign. So that's the way that I use dynamic search ads. I can use an exact URL, paste it right here, add it down at the bottom. So URL equals farmhousegoals.com, farmhouse curtains. We'll set our bid at 7 cents like we have for the ad group bid. And all we have to do is click on save and continue. Okay, so now for dynamic ad groups, it's actually really easy to create your advertisements because you're going to have your final URL is going to be dynamically generated. My headline will be dynamically generated and my display URL will be dynamically generated. All I have to do is enter 2 description lines. Okay, so I entered my 2 description lines here and now I can just click on done. And then the other thing you can do is make sure you're adding site link extensions. So I can just use the existing site link extensions I have here. I have some call out extensions as well. These are both set at the campaign level. I can always go back and adjust my extensions as we go. But for right now, this is fine. I'm just going to click on save and continue. And it's that easy to set up a new ad group, a dynamic ad group, and you can do it for different ad groups here. You can also set up a dynamic ad group and just set your homepage. So if you come over here to dynamic, click on continue, and we scroll down here and do all web pages, you can choose all web pages and set your bid very low. Or you can do specific web pages and just do your home page, maybe a shop page, maybe a blog page. So you can enter really whatever you want. But I would recommend using something like this where you're already segmenting it out by farmhouse curtains or whatever your segment is for that individual ad group. So that's how I use dynamic search ads. And it's one way to expand your existing search campaigns, because what's going to end up happening is you're going to get a lot of different keywords coming in based on the content on your website. So I'm not just limited to 2 different keywords in that ad group. Now, to take it a step further, one thing you might want to do, if we scroll down to the bottom and we find our dynamic farmhouse curtains, you can come into keywords and add negative keywords and just click to add a negative keyword to this ad group. And the 2 keywords we were targeting were farmhouse curtains and farmhouse style curtains. So I can make sure that those keywords are still going into the existing ad group, and then the dynamic ad group will have all brand new keywords coming in. So we can click on save, and it's really that easy. So that's number 1, is to create dynamic ad groups, or create a dynamic ad group for all of your web pages and see what types of keywords are coming in and what ends up driving conversions for you. Next will be number 2, and for number 2, what we can do is we're going to come back to our campaign here, go to ad groups again, and let's just say we come into we're going to use this farmhouse curtains ad group a lot in this example. So let's just say we come into this ad group. So one thing we can do is right now I'm targeting phrase match keywords. So I can come in here and click on the plus sign, and I can just add broad match modifier keywords. So I can do with a plus sign farmhouse curtains, and I can do farmhouse style curtains. And you can see there's some different ideas down here on the right hand side. So that will be another option. But one thing you can do, and this is going to be a quick one, is just use broad match modified keywords, put plus signs in front of each individual word you want to appear in the search query, or close synonyms. So with broad match modifier keywords, these 2 keywords that I'm targeting might match search terms such as rustic curtains. It might match something like primitive curtains, country kitchen curtains, country curtains. So it's really going to expand the amount of keywords that are going to match to the ones that we're targeting. So that's going to be number 2, is to use broad match modifier keywords if you're not using them already. And if you really want to broaden out your campaign, just use broad match keywords altogether. So do farmhouse curtains and farmhouse style curtains. And then what I would recommend doing when you're adding keywords, whether they're broad match or modified broad match, is when you click on save, I would make sure your bids for these keywords are lower than your bids for your other match types. So maybe what I can do is just come in here, I'll set these to 7 cents, click on save, and then I'll set the other 2 to 8 cents. So we can just come over here and set these to 8 cents, just so we know we're bidding a little bit higher on these different keywords. So it's really that simple. Add different keywords, bid slightly lower on them so that your other keyword match types will end up taking precedence, but you're going to be able to expand your existing ad group. Okay, next will be number 3. So for number 3, we're going to stay in this ad group. For right now, what I'm going to do is just pause these 2 keywords, and we can come in and click on the plus sign. So we're adding new keywords. You might see some really relevant keywords down here on the right hand side, but what we can also do is go to tools and setting, and then under planning, open the keyword planner. So I'm going to open the keyword planner in a new tab. And what I can do is if I'm trying to add search keywords to this ad group, just come over to the keyword planner, go to discover new keywords, and then just enter some keywords. So for this, I'll stick with my curtains example, use this keyword right here and just click on get results, and then just look at the most relevant keyword ideas and see if it makes sense to add them to my ad group or create new ad groups. So number 3 is just expanding your keyword targeting, and maybe what I can do is create a blog article about farmhouse window treatments. Maybe I create one specifically about kitchen curtains. I can do one about curtain rods, and there's enough search volume here. So 2,900 average monthly searches is plenty for me to add to a new ad group and create a new landing page so I can drive more of that relevant traffic back to my website. So as we expand to new keywords, you do want to keep in mind that you want to make sure your keywords are very relevant to your advertisements and your landing pages. So if I just come in here and add farmhouse kitchen curtains, and then I send people to this page that has curtains for living rooms, for bedrooms, for pretty much every single room besides the kitchen, it's not going to be as relevant as an article that would come right here in farmhouse kitchen curtains. So the more relevant I can make this, the better it's going to perform. So that's what you want to do is as you're expanding your search keywords, maybe in this ad group, what I can do is just add some phrase match keywords for primitive curtains. I can do something like country curtains, and let's just do rustic curtains. So I can come down and use those 3 keywords, rustic curtains, set my quotes around them to make sure I'm targeting phrase match keywords. So we have all of our quotes here. And we can come down to the bottom, click on save, and add these new keywords to our existing ad group. Make sure we set our bids to 8 cents a piece. That's something that I would want to do. And then what you can also do is make sure you're using the keyword planner to expand the existing keywords and add new ad groups to your campaign. So I could create a new landing page specifically for curtain rods. So when people go to my website, they see a page that just has curtain rods for sale. They can find the right curtain rod for them. And it allows me to expand to 2,900 additional average monthly searches or more if I do things like rustic curtain rods, primitive curtain rods, country curtain rods. So all of those should match very closely with farmhouse curtain rods. So that's going to be number 3, is use the keyword planner to expand your keywords and your ad groups that you're already targeting. And you can also just use the built-in keyword tool when you're creating your new search keywords in your ad group. So when you click on the plus sign, they usually come up with some pretty relevant keyword ideas down here on the right-hand side. Okay, so next is going to be number 4. And with number 4, it's going to be a little bit of a unique idea. So if we come over here, we're going to come right to our search keywords. So you're coming right into keywords and your search keywords for your entire campaign. So I'm looking at the entire campaign here. And one thing you can do is if you go over to the right hand side, you might have the quality score column here. If you do not have it, then click on columns, go to modify columns, and what you want to do is go to quality score. And what I like to do is look at quality score, expected click-through rate, landing page experience, and ad relevance. Click on apply, and then what you can do is look for keywords that you can improve the quality score. So we're just going to take the highest and lowest quality scores. So these are the highest. So these are all perfectly good, and I should have a very good ad rank for these regardless of my bid. So I'm able to bid much lower since my quality score is a 10. But if we come over here and we start seeing some of these 6 out of 10 quality scores, even 7 out of 10 quality scores, I can look over at my expected click-through rate, my ad relevance, my landing page experience, and look for things that are average or even below average, like we see over here. So if I'm seeing a below average ad relevance for something like Farmhouse Entertainment Center, then that means within that ad group, then my current advertisements aren't relevant enough to the keyword Farmhouse Entertainment Center. So it's probably something that I want to take this keyword and put it out into its own ad group and make sure that I have a better landing page that's going strictly to Farmhouse Entertainment Centers, because right now this keyword is in my Farmhouse TV stand ad group. So look at quality scores, and as you can increase your quality score, it's only going to help you show up in more of the ad auctions in Google because your ad rank will improve even if you don't increase your bids. So one of the easiest ways to increase your ad rank is just come over and increase your keyword bids. So if we scroll over to the right now I'm below first page bid of $1.20. So what I'd have to do is increase that quality score and increase that bid to show up and get more impressions and more clicks for this current keyword. So your quality score has a huge impact on your ad rank, and your ad rank is a combination of your quality score and your bid every single time you enter the Google Ads auction. So the higher your ad rank is, the higher your quality score, the lower you can spend, and the more searches you're going to ultimately appear in until you spend your daily budget. Okay, next is going to be number 5, and as you're looking for more keywords, you might run into some roadblocks where you're having trouble finding new keywords in the keyword planner and using the built-in keyword planner as you're building your new ad groups and adding additional keywords to your ad groups. So if you hit one of these roadblocks, one thing you might want to turn to is a competitive analysis tool like SEMRush. Now there's other competitors to SEMRush, but I think this is the best tool that you can use. And even using the free version of SEMRush or signing up for a 7-day free trial, what you can see is paid search traffic for any of your competitors. I'm just looking at my own website for right now, but you can see I have paid search traffic, I have organic search traffic. So if we start scrolling down here, you can see my top organic keywords. And if we keep coming down, you can also see my top paid keywords. So if you use a tool like SEMRush, and even if you sign up for a free trial or you use a free version of the software, right now I'm just using the free version of SEMRush, you can see some of my top organic keywords, and using all this data, you can find some additional opportunities for your own website. So if you look at some of your different competitors and you start looking at all of their different top paid keywords, right now it's only showing 22 for me. But you might find for some competitors it's going to show 100, 200 or more, and you can take some of those keywords and make sure that you're bidding on them. Now, if you click on advertising research for one of your competitors, you can see the total keywords, traffic cost. This is not exactly correct. I'm bidding on a lot more keywords. My traffic is a lot less than this, and my traffic cost is much less than this too. But if we keep scrolling down, you can see my paid search positions, and you can actually see which specific keywords are driving the most traffic to my website, which URLs are sending the traffic to, and the total traffic percentage for some of these different keywords. So you can find a lot of different ideas by looking at your competitors, seeing the keywords that they're bidding on, and making sure that you have those keywords added to your existing search campaign. So as we come back here, I would want to make sure that I have all those different keywords added to my campaign, because that's going to help me make sure I achieve the full volume that I can within my search campaign. Okay, next is going to be number 6, and number 6 might be the most obvious one, but sometimes it's just the necessary thing you need to do within your account. So if you're not reaching your full budget and you want to add more volume to your campaign, you've already looked at all the different keywords you can add. Maybe you've added some broad match keywords, some modified broad match keywords, some dynamic ad groups. So you've done all of that. You might just have to increase your bids. So if you're looking here and you're seeing below first page bid for all your different keywords like I am here, then one thing you might have to do is just increase some of your bids. And what I would recommend doing is starting with keywords and looking at keywords with the top impressions. So if you're looking at keywords with the top impressions, you might find something here where I'm below first page bid of 14 cents. So I could always increase this bid. I don't have to go all the way up to 14 cents, but what we can do is look and click on the keyword bid simulator, and you can see what's going to happen if I increase my bids. So it looks like the biggest increase is if I go from 8 cents to 10 cents. So I'm going from 40 clicks to 71 clicks. And it's not going to really increase my average CPC all that much. So this is what you want to do is increase individual keywords using the keyword bid simulator. And this works the best if you're using manual CPC with enhanced CPC like I am. So if we come over to settings and we're looking at my actual bid strategy for this campaign, you can see my bidding is CPC enhanced, and I'm help increase conversions with enhanced CPC. So what you want to do is just go keyword by keyword like I did, look at the keywords with the top impressions. So if I look at farmhouse TV stands here, we click on the bid simulator, you can see 7 cents. So I'd really have to increase this one pretty dramatically, but maybe what I can do is just start at 15 cents. So I could just come here, start it, make sure it's 15 cents and not $15. And you can see there's a pretty big lift right there. So 15 cents, we're going to get more impressions. We'll probably get some more clicks. You could always go up to the 32 cent and just see it might increase your average CPC, but it's going to increase my total conversions as well. So we can click on apply and just increase my bids for that specific keyword. And what you would want to do is just go one by one for each individual keyword and increase your bids. You can also just come in here to keywords and you can select all 52 or all your keywords in your campaign. I can click on edit, change max CPC bids, and I can increase bids. And let's just say I want to increase my bids by 10%. I want to increase my bids by 10%, but I don't want to ever bid more than 50 cents, for example. So that's going to increase every single bid within my campaign. And now you're going to see all of my bids. So this just went from 7 cents to 8 cents. So some of these are only going to be very small increases, but those small increases help you drive more impressions and drive more clicks and ultimately hopefully spend your budget every single day. Now the other option is if we come over here to settings and we're changing our bid strategy to one of the smart bidding strategies. So if we click down here and we do change bid strategy, what we can do from the drop down is choose one of these automated bid strategies. So let's just say, for example, I want to use target CPA. I can set my target CPA here. Now what I like to do is use portfolio bid strategies. So you go to tools and settings, and under shared library, you're going to go to bid strategies. So when you click on bid strategies, it's going to open up a page that looks like this, and you're going to see portfolio bid strategies at the top. So what I can do is click on the plus sign, choose target CPA, and we could just name it sample bid strategy 2020. Okay, so we'll set my target CPA. It's saying 87 cents. So I'll just use what they tell me, 87 cents. I'll select my main campaign here, click on done. And then under advanced options, what you can do is set a maximum bid limit here. So if I want my maximum bid limit to be 50 cents, then what I can do is run my campaign for a few days, see if I'm spending my budget, and then you can always come back and increase your maximum bid limit, not $75, but 75 cents. So you can make sure that you have the right maximum bid limit here so you're reaching your daily budget goal. If I'm over here and we click on cancel here, we're looking at my budget of $100 per day. I might have to set my bid strategy. I might have to have a target CPA of $2 to start, and I might have to set a maximum bid limit. We could always set it at 75 cents per now. And then what we can do is increase that every few days to make sure that we're reaching that daily budget. So a few different options you have. The manual way is to go keyword by keyword. So you want to go to keywords here and make sure you're increasing your bids, or selecting all your keywords, increasing them by a percentage. And that will ensure that if you're seeing a ton of these below first page bid estimate notices under status, then you can make sure that you're not always below that first page bid. So you're getting as many impressions as possible and driving as many clicks as possible. Okay, next is going to be number 7. Now, number 7 is going to be a combination of things you can check to make sure you have completely expanded your campaign. So one of the things I like to do is we're in keywords. So we're just looking at our search keywords that we're bidding on, is go to columns, click on modify columns, and make sure under competitive metrics, you have search impression share here. So your search impression share is going to show the number of impressions you've received on the search network divided by the estimated number of impressions you are eligible to receive. So if your search impression share is very low, then that means that you have a lot left on the table. So right now I'm only at 42.95% for the exact match keyword of Ray Dunn. So if I increase my bid, if I come over here and I increase my bid and make sure my budget is set much higher, then I'm going to be able to get a lot more impressions and clicks out of this keyword. And if we come over here to the right hand side, we can do this for a variety of keywords. So generally what I try to do is look at high conversion rate or low cost per conversion keywords. So let's just use this one right here. Farmhouse valence is 49 cents. My search impression share is 51.92%. So we can come over and what we can do is increase my bid at least to the first page bid, but maybe we'll use the competitive bid simulator here and we'll set it at 27 cents. So we'll set it at 27 cents, click on apply, and that's going to help me drive more impressions, more clicks for this keyword that's already converting for me. So that's one thing you can try, is to look at impression share for individual keywords or individual ad groups and make sure that your impression share, if you're seeing things like 85%, that's pretty good, 90%, those are really strong. But when you see things like 39%, if we keep scrolling down, 35, 40, so all of these different things here, what I can do is make sure I increase my bids so I have my search impression share as high as possible. Now, a few other things to look at within each ad group. So if we come back over to our ad groups and we'll look at farmhouse curtains again, within each ad group, you want to make sure that you have every single type of ad running. So right now for each of my ad groups, I have 2 expanded text ads and 2 responsive search ads. So you want to make sure you're doing that in all of your ad groups. Now, the other thing you want to do is under ads and extensions here, click on extensions, make sure you're using ad group level extensions. That's going to help your quality score. You can see here my site link extensions within my farmhouse curtains ad group, drapes, valences, farmhouse curtains, the shop, and shop curtains. Call out extensions, hundreds of farm curtains. Curtains start at $13, drapes and valences, top rated curtains. I have a structured snippet individual for this specific ad group. So using all of the ad types available, which for search, responsive search ads, you want to make sure you're running responsive search ads and expanded text ads. So use both ad formats and make sure you're using all relevant ad extensions for your campaign and for your individual ad groups. Now, next is coming down to settings. So making sure when you're in your settings, and we're going to come back to our campaign settings here rather than ad group settings. Under networks, you want to make sure you have search network and Google search partners. So you might realize you have a low click-through rate, and a lot of that is due to Google search partners. So I'll show you that in a second, but you want to make sure you're using both of these networks, and you do not want to include the Google display network for your search campaigns. Your display and search campaigns should be completely separate. The other thing you want to do is with locations, make sure you have all relevant locations that are good for your business. So I just have United States here, but I can do United States and Canada. So if I want to make sure I'm expanding to every location where I can ship my products, I can do United States and Canada, maybe the UK, anywhere that you ship products, you serve customers, you want to make sure you have those locations there. Now, the other thing you want to do is languages. So any relevant languages that your customers speak. So I can enter a different language here if I think it's going to translate well for my campaign. Now, it's not going to work for my individual campaign, but you can also try to create separate campaigns in different languages depending on the locations that you're targeting. Now, last but not least, the other thing that you can do is come into audiences for your search campaigns. So this is considered remarketing lists for search ads, or you can target in-market audiences and you can increase these bid adjustments if you're seeing that specific audiences are performing well for your campaign. So if we come over here and we look, this in-market audience, curtains and window treatments, has driven 5 conversions, 20 cents per conversion. So that's a very, very low. So what I can do here is it's in my farmhouse curtains ad group. Make sure I have in-market audiences for all of my individual ad groups and increase this bid adjustment. And right now I can increase it by 100%. Because I don't mind if I'm driving that low of conversions, I don't mind increasing my bids drastically to this audience since they're more likely to convert. And if you're seeing the same thing for your website visitors audiences, so right now I have a curtains website visitors audience and you can see only 1 click, but that 1 click cost me 11 cents and drove a conversion. So some different ways you can expand your campaign. So here what I can do is increase this bid and we'll increase it by 125%. So you can see a $10 bid will become $22.50. So a $1 bid would become $2.50. So I can click on save. And since the people in these audiences are going to be so valuable for my campaign, it's worth increasing my bids if I start to see that they're driving additional conversions at a very low cost. So those are some different ways to expand your campaign if you're looking for additional volume, if you're not reaching your daily budget, and if you're seeing a status you're limited by budget, or you've just recently increased your budget and you want to make sure you're doing a little bit more testing. These are some different ways to do it. So hopefully they're all helpful. Hopefully they help you expand your campaign so you do spend your daily budget. If you have any questions or any additional ways that you like to expand your campaigns, make sure you leave them in the comments section. Thanks for watching my video today, and make sure you subscribe to the Surfside PPC YouTube channel.